See, when I be up in the scripts, I read it different now. I see the gospel as militant, I see the mission now. Find righteous from the 12 tribes, vet them, that's my inner circle. We got bylaws like every 6 days, you best be making curfew. See, we want goons that'll cut you if you touch us. Ain't no rabbis, ain't no masters. We got OGs and we got brothers, but our weapons, they ain't carnal. We are sheep amongst wolves. The warrior in my voice is a shadow of things to come. Days without eating to beat and strengthen that inner man. We don't over, man, we understand. Yeah, that's the spirit, man. When we speaking, you hear it, man. Light work, darkness can't comprehend, so they hate cause they fear it, man. See, they the children of the ones who killed the prophets, so we count it all for joy, cause it's a sign that we will profit. At the end, when the Son of Man comes again, I pray I'm found worthy and working in part of his battle plans. I got 12 tribes behind me. 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 12, 12, 12. I got 12 tribes behind me. 12, 12, 12. I got 12 tribes behind me. I'm seeking able men, such that fear I hide. That walk in truth and hate a hater, cause they fear I hide. I told y'all niggas years ago, I'm waking goons up. Can these dry bones live? We waking tombs up. I'm with the Bible gang, we throwing sets up. Real Judah, straight shooters, you get wet up. Your choice, baptism or the Nina. With one voice we give that living Aquafina. I know Judas, that was brothers, they was hating on the low. Know my final destination, they can't hear everybody blow. I ain't got the game on like it's something like a figure four. Pro speak, hello, they know, like shout low. He kicked the tribe, I call him the tribe of Dan. And got some replacement killers, Manasseh and Ephraim. Don't get that room slapped, I be speaking blue facts. I sweet with the scripture, but I can hit you, leave your blueprint. Playing both sides, bisexual Hebrews. You can't eat with devils and come and eat with me too. I got 12 tribes behind me. 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 12, 12, 12. I got 12 tribes behind me. 12, 12, 12. I got 12 tribes behind me.
Welcome to the Hebrew state of being. We are your humble servants and hosts for tonight. I am Kyle, and in the building, my sister Tamar is here to read these scriptures properly. But, Hashatan. As we are trying to bring forth the word, my brother Aaron, Yuan, several people let me know that, our feed gets dropped, it gets kicked out, people got to come back in. Well, tonight, we've been on the OBS and going from our Twitch to our Facebook and YouTube. Well, a couple of videos ago, either I said some things or the particular song of Buju Banton was flagged, and now they have disconnected my stream, my restream. So that means that, yes, we are on Twitch right now. And I do want you guys to go to Twitch. I want you guys to hop off of Facebook and go to twitch.tv, because tonight we're going to be showing you guys the film that we worked on, that we put out. And we want everybody to go to twitch.tv, and I want you guys to be able to see it the right way, other than what Facebook is doing right now. And I'm for the ones that are not on twitch.tv, I'm gonna turn this phone around so that you can see the screen. But it'll be a much better experience if you guys went over to twitch.tv under Hebrew State of Being. We are broadcasting live there, right? So, yes, thank you, Esther. So, but we don't care about Hashatan because it doesn't matter if two people, one people, three people are on. We're going to bring forth his word. If we're by ourselves, we're going to bring forth his word every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 8:30. All they can do is cut our feeds. All they can do is make it a little harder for us to bring forth the word, but they can never stop it from actually going forward. So everybody, twitch.tv Hebrew State of Being. Please get on there because we got a lot to show you guys. I see a few people have already switched over already. All praises. We got one people just, that's what you said, Sharon. It's like, not 10, but one people. So, um, as I see, we got people in there. All right, Peaceful Soldier. I see we got Aaron in the building, Golden Child. I see we got Weezy in the building, 504. That's right. That's that Hebrew hustler in the building. So anyway, like I said, tonight we're not going to allow Hashitan to set anything off. We're going to go forward with the plan as is, right? So this is where we are tonight. We are Today is the 15th or 14th, no 13th. Today is the 13th of November. Oh, it's Nicola. All right, peaceful, peace folder. How do you pronounce that, Nicola? Peaceful wonder. Oh, peace wonderful. Peaceful. I'm killing it. I know, Nicole. I'm killing it. I'm sure. And you're laughing at your house, so we just gave you a Shabbat gift. You can enjoy that. We're trying to figure out your code on your profile name, but all praise, glad you're in the building. Um, so so what we have been doing as a as Hebrew State of Being and as a company, blackmasking.org. A lot of that is a combination of what this month is about, right? This Thanksgiving that they have. It is the story that we all have been given about the indigenous people here and how the Europeans came over. They don't like to talk about the transatlantic slave trade. That just happened. The beautiful story that they give us is the pilgrims and the indigenous setting down to have a great meal together. But as we all know, they slaughtered those said Indians, right? That's how we have America. If they didn't slaughter the Indians, then we wouldn't have this great place. And don't you love America? Don't you like your cars? Don't you like your TVs, your electronic tools? Don't you like your Wi-Fi? Don't you like the fact that you're free in America? Free. Well, as they say, if you want to make a great omelet, you gotta break a couple of eggs. So in that scenario, we as the indigenous people were the eggs that were broken, and it's just a happenstance to the glory of manifest destiny and the whore of Babylon creating her daughter. Right. So that's really what happened, right? The whore of Babylon came over here and had gave birth to her daughter. So this month, this indigenous month, and this story that we've been given, we found through scripture that that story actually is hiding the truth of the fact that the indigenous people were of the northern tribes, along with Canaanites and Japhet that we hear. Like this land was been populated. Like this whole concept of them discovering this place is just such a farce. When every creed, culture, and all was in America way before this lie of Thanksgiving. So we're talking about it right now because we're going to really go deep into it. And everybody on Instagram, especially Humble Beginnings, we are on twitch.tv under the same code of Hebrew State of Being. We're going to be showing a film that we completed a year ago. and well, that we debuted a year ago, that's going to go into this indigenous culture and prove the fact that the ones that they actually came over and slaughtered was actually us, and we were of the 10 tribes of Yasharala. So, hey, Ty, see you in the building, Ty. So, twitch.tv and under Hebrew State of Being. So, with that said, this lie, this farce that they gave us of these pilgrims coming over and uh, leaving Britain so that they could have religious freedom to truly be the Puritans or the Presbyterians later, but the Puritans and the Pilgrims, which, by the way, are two different sets of people. The Puritans and the Pilgrims, two different guys, right? So as we understand that this lie has been given to us to make everything all nice and sweet. But yes, the Tonight Show, as humble because I know y'all guys don't get on Instagram, but tonight's show, thank you, Esther, for putting up. Thanksgiving equals thanks-killing. How do the righteous give thanks? So I'm gonna wrap this up so we can get to our shofar, so we can get into the goodness of this show tonight, and really show it from a scriptural perspective as well as the lie that America has given to the truth that we have discovered, uh, uh, have swept away the lies to see the actual truth, because now our oral history is connecting to our scripture. See, our oral history as natives did not connect to their pilgrim story, but the actual indigenous story of how we were brought here through these Europeans meets the biblical account or prophecy to the T. So that's how we are able to say that the people that were here when the Europeans came, that they were indigenous, and then they brought more. They brought the Judah and they brought Benjamin through the transatlantic slave trade into the Americas, as well as being the other story that they don't like to discuss when they give you Thanksgiving. They don't want to say that the transatlantic slave trade was a few years afterwards. Doesn't want to say that the Spanish were already trading slaves here in America before the British came here as pilgrims or Puritans for their Thanksgiving. So, you know, August, I see you in the building. We are on twitch.tv, about to show a film. I'd love for you to be able to see it, my brother, twitch.tv. So, with that said, we're going to open up our assembly properly and play the shofar. And then we're going to get into Joshua and we're going to show this film, right? So, let's blow our shofar. Praise God. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, right? Shabbat Shalom, man. So, okay. So, in this time, and why did I put my agua? You know, Big Chief Black in the building. We on twitch.tv. The reason why you don't see a lot of people in here, Big Chief, is we're on twitch.tv because we're showing a film tonight, and they cut our feed because we've been giving some real good information out here. So they messed with our feed to be able to show you guys on Facebook the movie tonight. but just as well because we don't want Facebook to own the property and rights of any of this information that we have to put forward. So I think the Father does everything in His design. You know, as my sister and I were wanted to bring this forth tonight, we was like, how do we do this without, you know what I'm saying, getting caught up in their little mix and being able to steal what you put forth on their platform. So Most High saw it for us to not be able to broadcast the film through Facebook, but we will be broadcasting it through twitch.tv under Hebrew State of Being. All right, that's the last time, guys. I'm going to say it. Everybody else that comes in, they'll see Ty or Esther will put in there that everybody's on twitch.tv to see the actual movie, right? So in this time of COVID-19, you're going to be hearing as we are embarking upon Thanksgiving, you're going to hear many people say this is a time for us to give thanks, that this is a time for us to think about how this great country was started and that it was about coming together at a dinner and coming together at a feast, not a holiday, but a feast. And many say that they put it around harvest time, right? Well, that's also biblical. Harvest, tabernacles, uh, bringing your first fruits. You know what I'm saying? Bringing your fruits into the tabernacle. It's all connected, but they have paganized it, if that's a good way of explaining it, right? Like tonight, there's so many ways that I could go at trying to explain this to you guys. So you may see me go in so many directions because thankful to the Most High, truly, humbly thankful to the Most High that He gave me the opportunity to wake up and know this community in my city of New Orleans, the Inyans, as being a representation of us, His chosen people, His seed. And I'm thankful that He has put me, my sister, Esther, Yawan, and all that have helped in the last 2 and 3 years to do all the things that I'm going to show you guys tonight. Thankful to the Most High that He placed all those people and all those things in place for us to embrace our true culture of our city, make the connection that it is the true culture of the Most High's chosen seed, to then be accepted in that community that predates the European incursion, the European America, right? For that community that has kept the oral history and kept the true culture of North America, even though it has been affected by America, the disease and the beast that it has gotten its tentacles in all of us in some form or fashion, from religion to its practices to its iniquity. It has affected all of us. So our culture is no different. So so thankful to the Most High that He was able to allow us to be accepted by this culture, to say, okay, hold up. We've been calling ourselves Mardi Gras Indians. You coming with this black mask and y'all talking about we the 12 tribes. You got this menorah up there. You trying to say we black Jews. And instead of them turning their nose to us, or in that community, it could be a knife and a guns, and you get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? First of all, you get the death sentence, and they call you a culture vulture. Ooh, you talking about being blackballed in the black community in New Orleans? Get called, you get labeled a culture vulture. So I truly tell you guys, as tonight is Shabbat, and we're supposed to be thankful for the gifts that the Father has given us. I know that there's a million and one ways that the mission that we've been on for the last 2 to 3 years, it could have gone a million and one ways. But the Father has been the guide. He has been the head of this. He has been the ox, the aleph of our efforts and our thoughts and our spirit, that we've been accepted by our community. And not only is it what you're saying, it's like, nah, we are no longer Mardi Gras. We see the iniquity, the lies, and how they've been stealing our culture and our economics through a name that they patented that has nothing to do with our indigenous culture, and that's Mardi Gras. And they accepted black masking. Well, it was a terminology that they used already for themselves. We just only brushed it off, polished it, and said, "Hey, nah, you got backing. We're gonna go ahead and blow the trumpet for you, like Joshua and them in Jericho. We're gonna blow the trumpet for you and let everybody know, nah, the sleeping giant is awakened, and we no longer take your slave name." I give all praises to the Father because that's complicated, right? What I just tried to explain was complicated. It took time. Imagine going into a community and trying to push that and explain that, and then to have them turn around and say, "We accept that. You can't tell me that there isn't a Most High. You can't tell me that He don't move through prayers, because I seen Him do it with a community that don't play no games." Am I lying, sister? That don't play no games. If you ain't true, if you ain't standing for what you say you are, you ain't going ready to die for what you believe in, that community would chew you up and spit you out.
Like used toothpaste.
Yes, like used toothpaste. So tonight, man, you know, go to our website, you know, and I'm gonna pull up another one because I'm pull this up, something different for you guys. Because we did this debut of the film, um, and we did it at the aquarium last year. It's just that go to PowerPoint we was looking for.
It's the actual video, it's the PDF.
I think it's the PDF. And say videos and
Oh,
PDF.
got a picture. Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. I'm saying y'all, this is how the Most High work, y'all. We was looking for this file, and we found every file, put that file, and now I'm looking for the other one, and this is the one that pop up. I love the Most High. What? Cool. Pull up. That's not the one. Why are you missing? There we go. This is only one of one. Uh, 1 second, guys. I'm gonna get what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the 12. Nope, that's not the one. All right, there we go. So, won't let me pull this one. Well, right here you can't see, but we had the big chiefs at the film, at the debut, and it just won't let me show it right here. And all the community came out. We did it at the aquarium, and we highlighted it, and we debuted it for free for the entire community. We sold out. It was during the Bayou Classic, so it the community allowed us to and accepted what our efforts were to show. And as I said, it could have gone a million and one ways, but the Father allowed it to be His blessing. So, in this time where everybody is giving thanks, and we coming out of our tabernacles and explaining what true Thanksgiving is, but as this world is going to tell us Thanksgiving is in this time frame, and as this time frame is celebrating the slaughter of our indigenous people and their coming in, I also connect that to COVID-19 right now and how much we all have lost in this last year as we are about to go into another shutdown. As my sisters showed on last night, expressed all the different countries that are already on a Coty Speaks on Thursday night, by the way, 7 o'clock. But as these different countries are shutting down, and now the president is talking about, or the president-elect is talking about another shutdown, and as New York is already instituting its shutdown, and also it's getting ready to put in its laws for mandatory vaccines, it becomes a different feeling right now of what we should be thankful for or what we should be looking forward to. Well, as Hebrews, we understand that it is about being thankful for what we have. Looking to the future and trying to predict that is not of the Father. The Father says to know the prophecies and look for the signs and wonders, but he doesn't say to try and figure out what your life is going to be like in 3 years. He says to follow and listen to him. See, the first word is follow. And that's what we have done in these years. But it's bitter because in this year we were supposed to have our third festival. We were coming to the year where we were able to really give back to the community in the way we wanted to. We felt that we had gotten to our points of getting our large sponsors. We were on a roll, so to speak, right? And everything was shut down. Does that mean in our lives when things get shut down that the Father didn't bless it or Barakas, it wasn't to be had? Does it mean that it was all for naught? See, I'm still talking about Thanksgiving. Because if we look at the work and all that we have done and not realize that it was all needed for the next step in our life, then we can't look at it as we lost anything. We have to be thankful that we learned a new skill, that we learned a new lesson, that we were able to add something to our arsenal, that we are updating our resume, so to speak. That is something to be given thanks for and thanks to. So when we show you this tonight, it's not a bitter thing that we haven't been able to do our third festival. We haven't been able to have our second annual Injun flag football game on Thanksgiving. See, in a couple of days, should be doing our third one, our third football game, if we'd have been able to do it last year, right? So, do we get sad with what could have been, right? Do we get depressed about what needs to happen now but it's not happening, all this uncertainty? Are we to throw away the jewels and the great understanding that we've gotten up until this point? No, like Shabbat, we ought to give thanks and figure out how to rework this meal. We got leftovers now, but we got grandiose leftovers. We got lamb leftovers, baby. You know what I'm saying? We got lamb leftovers. We got vegetables. We got desserts. We got great leftovers. We don't have molded bread. And if we understand that, then we can actually be thankful in a time where it seems destitute, in a time where it seems as though nothing good can come out. In fact, we're looking for the next shoe to drop, the next bad thing to happen. Is there going to be war next? Are they going to shut down this nation? Is there going to be a bomb on U.S. soil? Is looking for UFOs. Is there going to be a UFO coming out? You know, we're not looking for the blessings, the barakas that is in our lives right now. Not looking at the things that he's allowed to be cultivated in our lives and to work with that. We have to get out of the European concept of Thanksgiving and the European concept of I got to get more, I got to consume more, I got to be bigger than the next. It is time for us to take stock of what the Father has taught us, where the Father has us, and work that to a beautiful souffle, right? That can be used with leftovers and pieces of this and pieces of that. But you can make a souffle with all kind of things and make it new, brand new meal out of choice leftover ingredients. After choice flour, choice oils being used. Mm. Maybe you guys, maybe I'm going too far. Maybe I'm being too thankful in this hour and I'm not bringing clarity to it. Well, we are on the eve of a lie that this company has set its whole life to bring the truth through this lie that we are the chosen seed. So let's go to our Joshua. We're gonna start off with our Joshua 9, and from there we're gonna go into our film. We gotta march this weekend, right? We gotta march this weekend. Hey, Alana, see you in the building. We gotta march this weekend of everyone.
No.
Huh?
They have a march.
Yes, thank you. They have a march this weekend to try and simulate the Million Man March.
Of course, he better not catch one of y'all out there.
Right. You know what I'm
Better not
saying?
see y'all on CNN.
Talk about you want to
Protest.
dispute them or go against whatever. Don't do it. They are disputing the votes. They are disputing the word of the people. They are trying to continue the farce of their lie. The same as the lie of Thanksgiving, the lie that they say they founded this nation on, which was the coming together of the natives and the insurgents. But we know that that's an absolute lie, right? That is not how it happened. So how can anything else that this society tells you, can you believe that? I mean, if it started off as a lie, if I date a woman, I start off by telling I'm a doctor, then everything, it don't matter if we together for 10 years. If I hold up this lie that I'm a doctor, then the whole relationship is bent off of a lie. It's gonna fall. I don't care how long you can hold the force up, it will fall. This Babylon, this daughter, this whore of Babylon is falling. And in this time, they're going to tell you to be thankful for it because of some holiday that is an absolute lie. Will, my brother, so glad to see you in the building. We on twitch.tv. We're about to show the film that we did, my brother. And as you, as a film guru, I would love to see and know what you think of it. Go to twitch.tv, Hebrew State of Being. And yeah, we're about to show the film, man, that we did, showing the connection of our culture from the Caribbean to New Orleans and how that was us that was taken from Judah in Africa, the land called Wayuda, the kingdom of Judah, right before it became Benin. Anyway, so as we're saying that in this time, they're going to tell you that you need to be thankful, and there are a million Caucasians and other persuasions going on the Capitol to say that they want this racist animal to be their president, their leader, and they want to just wipe away with the whole concept of democracy. And the whole concept of the people are the ones that speak. Hey, it's what we're accustomed to. You should not be surprised. You should not be surprised in this hour. That's why you have to seek your truth. Nobody else can give you your truth. Hey, Chanel, I see you in the building. All right, so as we are on Joshua chapter 9, because you're going to see that this is a reoccurring theme, that when this time they call it Thanksgiving, that we gave unto the heathen nations, and then those heathen nations in return gave us arrows, gave us disease, gave us pestilence. This story in Joshua chapter 9 is one of those same stories. Same people, same loving people, getting the same results from the same heathens. In America, it's just called Thanksgiving. And we're on Joshua. I'm ready when you are, sister.
The book of Joshua, beginning at chapter 9. And it came to pass when all the kings which were on this side of Jordan, in the hills and in the valleys, and all the coasts of the great sea, over against Lebanon, and Shittim, and Emery, and Kinnim, and Perazim, and Shebium, and Ukasi, heard thereof, that they gathered themselves together to fight with Joshua and with Israel with one accord. And when the inhabitants of Gibeon heard what Joshua had done unto Jericho and to Ai, they did work willingly, and went and
Yeah,
made
that's not working. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
went and made as if they had been ambassadors, and took old sacks upon their asses, and wineskin, old and rent, and bound up, and old shoes, and clouded upon their feet, and old garments upon them, and all the bread of their provision was dry and moldy. And they went to Joshua unto the camp at Gilgal, and said unto him and to the men of Israel, We have come from a far country. Now therefore make you a league with us. And the men of Israel said unto Shimeon, Peradventure we dwell among us. You dwell among us, and how shall we make a league with you? And they said to Joshua, We are your servants. And Joshua said unto them, Who are you? And whence come from you? And they said unto him, From a very far country. Your servants are come because of the name of Yahuwah Elohika. For we have heard the fame of him and all that he did in Mizraim.
So now we understand that Joshua is saying that these people, these Hivites, these Hittites, these Amorites, these Canaanites, Perizzites, and Hivites and Jebusites, they understood how great the kingdom was of Joshua, of the Hebrews. So they wanted to come and get food. Very similar to these Europeans that came over to North America in their story of Thanksgiving and saw that they were Hebrews, or they were indigenous people here that had their food, that had a full kingdom. So they went to them and said, Oh, we want to connect with you. You know, we got guns, we got alcohol, you know what I mean? And what many people don't know about Thanksgiving is that the Indians, the indigenous ones here, had somebody that actually spoke English, that actually went into their camp. His name was Squanta. Well, if you want to find him in history, Squanta, Squanta. Squanta was the interpreter for the indigenous of the Wampanoag tribe. They were full and wealthy and had all. They went to the Europeans to say, okay, you got some guns, you got some things. What are you guys doing here? Are you going to pay us tribute? What's the deal? And those Europeans said, hey, we will war against your enemies. Give us some food. We need you. And the Indians took it as, hey, all right, you know what I mean? We could maybe use you guys to do it. And they did. So regardless of the story that you heard about Thanksgiving, of them coming here and dropping ship and meeting these people in the beginning and then having this great feast, that's not how it happened. They joined into an agreement, just like we're talking here, a league. The Wampanoag Indians, Powhatan, the leader of the Wampanoag Indians, he was also the leader of the federation called the Powhatan Federation, which was all of the Native Americans up on the eastern seaboard. Yes. So he entered into an agreement with those said Europeans and got into a league with them and used the Europeans as strong armors because they had guns. In our land, we didn't have these guns. So this right here, again, like I said, the scripture and who we are as a people, it is reflective all through history. Same people, same heathens, same scenario. So, okay, sister, you can go on. I'm sorry. Before I say that, these people, the Hittites and all the ones that came into land, they came to Joshua under a lie. They came and they rent all their clothes, as we read. They acted as though they were poor. They acted as though the bread was molded and as if they came from a far land, which was all them trying to pull a fast one over us as here for Thanksgiving. Continue.
The book of Joshua, chapter 9, verse 10. And all that he had, and all that he did to the two kings of the Ephraim that were beyond Jordan, and Sihon king of Shabon, and to Og king of Bashan, which was at Ashtaroth.
Ashtaroth.
Wherefore your elders and all the inhabitants of your country spoke to us, saying, take victuals with you for the journey, and go to meet them, and say unto them, we are your servants, therefore now make a league with us.
So, victuals mean food. So it's saying, take the food and come to Joshua and them for the journey, and to tell them that we need you. Continue.
This our bread we took hot for our provision out of our houses on the day we came forth to go unto you, but now behold, it is dry and it is moldy. And these wineskins which we filled were new, and behold, they be rent. And these our garments and our shoes are become old by reason of the very long journey. And the men took off their victuals, and asked not counsel at the mount of Yahuwah. And Joshua made peace with them, and made a league with them, to let them live. And the princes of the assembly swore unto them.
Hmm.
And it came to pass at the end of the 3 days after they had made a league with them, that they heard that they were their neighbors, and that they dwelt among them. And the children of Israel journeyed and came unto their cities on the 3rd day. And now their cities were Givon, and Kiriath, and Betharoth, and Kirath, and Uraram. And the children of Israel smote them not, because the princes of the assembly had sworn unto them by Yahuwah Elohim of Israel. And all the assembly murmured against the princes.
See, and that's the thing. Joshua said, okay, we found out that they didn't lie, but we made a pact with the Most High. That's the type of people that we're supposed to be. It's like, regardless of what somebody else does, we are judged and we concerned about what the Father is going to say about our actions. I mean, I just thought that was so indicative and gangster and just shows who we are as a people through history. That it doesn't matter if those people are lying on us, if those people are backstabbing us, those people that broke their treaties. It's about what we and what the Father wants us to do in return. And trust me, it ain't turn the other cheek. Trust me, it's not allow them to continue to ravage and kill and take from us. That is not what he's saying. So, and as you'll see in this story here, continue.
Verse 19. But all the princes said unto all the assembly, we have sworn unto them by Yahuwah Elohim of Israel. Now therefore we may not touch them. This we will do to them. We will even let them live, lest wrath be upon us, because the oath which we swore unto them.
Oh, she said because of the oath that they swore. So when we look at the Indians and the Wampanoag, and they done went into a league with these said vipers, these said double speakers, double tongued, these people that broke 500 treaties. So we were dealing with the same type of people. It says, this we will do to them. We will even let them live, lest wrath be upon us. So we got indigenous people here that felt the same way. Felt the same way about these Europeans coming in. Like, hey, we don't want to wipe out all these people. We are a spiritual holy people. We don't want to tell them they can't have this land. This is the Father's land. It's not our land. We share. That's the indigenous way. That's the way the Father made us. That's the way these brothers are talking right now. Yeah, we gave them food. Yeah, they gave us a line. We gave them some provisions and all this. But hey, we ain't gonna kill them because we made a pact under the Most High of how we're going to be a reflection of the Most High. So okay, well, let's see how they handle this then. Continue to read.
Verse 21. And the princes said unto them, let them live, but let them be hewers of the wood, and drawers of the water unto all the assembly, as the princes had promised them.
So they're saying, okay, we're not going to kill them, but we're going to enslave them.
Well, no, they said they wanted to be their servants.
And this is what they offered, right? They did say they want to be the servants. So now we're going to forcefully make them hold up to their word. Since we know they're liars, right? Since we know they're liars. So go on, continue to read, sister.
And Joshua called for them, and he spoke unto them, saying, wherefore have you beguiled us, saying, we are very, very far off from you, when you dwell among us? Now therefore, you are cursed, and there shall none of you be freed from being bondmen, and hewers of wood, and drawers of water, for the house of the Most High.
So if we sit back in this present hour and looked at our oppressor and said, no, you're cursed because of what you're doing unto our people. No, this government is cursed because of what it has done with its lies, with its experiments, with its biological and medical experiments on us, sociological projects that they have for us. Can we say that they are cursed people? Wouldn't that give us a better understanding of what is befalling this place right now? Wouldn't that give you a better understanding and maybe warm you up at night and say, okay, I understand why there's an idiot in the office. I understand why these people are fighting each other. I understand why they're about to go to war, because they started off on a lie. They started off in iniquity. They started off with murder. How can you rise a nation off of bloodshed and lies? 500 treaties they broke. They killed countless of us. Hell, they didn't even just leave it to the people. They killed all our buffalo. What the buffalo did them, right?
Yes, heathen.
I make joke, but yeah, my sister heathen. I make joke about it, but they killed our buffalo as a way of war for us, so that they would be able to stop us from being able to eat, being able to have clothes in the winter from the hide, to be able to use the bones as spears, to stop trade of the bear fat. And man, it wasn't just that they killed the buffalo, it was a strategic move because it was the basis of our economy. But yet, our people here adapted so much to the point that we fought in World War One with the same people that invaded us. We, because of the French influence and because of the British influence, we actually fought with the people that betrayed us here because we thought it was our only option to at least have some type of sovereignty on this land, because we felt like we fought these Caucasians enough that they didn't want no more, that we had worked out some type of living arrangements. So we joined the battle and helped them defeat Britain to actually have this America, and then signed up again in the Civil War for the South, in fact. So as we are looking at Joshua and we're looking at this story and understanding that this thing is all wrong because these people are cursed and should be our servants because we have been righteous. So if that's the thought, then we can say, okay, I understand that these things must be being done for me then. It must be all of these pestilence, all of this calamities, all this falling of governments, all these things. Oh, obviously this is being done for me because I have been righteous and they were not. Because there's blood on their hands. And they want me to celebrate their blood-filled holiday. When they should be, as in Joshua, they should be the hewers of wood and drawers of water for the house of the Most High. Oh, therein lies the problem, sister. We're not the house of the Most High. We have to wake up and come to be that.
That's right.
So maybe they're not serving us because we're not serving our Father. Oh, that might be a hard pill for some of us to swallow because we don't care, right? We feel like we've been done wrong, so we need to be done justified right now. If there's a God, then I should get justice right now. Forget everything else that didn't happen. I need justice right now. Mm-hmm. Continue to read, my sister.
The book of Joshua, chapter 9, verse 24. And they answered Joshua and said, because it was certainly told your servants how that Yahuwah Elohim commanded his servants Moshe to give you all the land and to destroy all the inhabitants of the land from before you. Therefore, we were sore afraid of our lives because of you, and you have done this thing. And now, behold, we are in your hand, and it seems good and right unto you to do unto us, do. As it seems good and right unto you to do unto us, do. And so did he unto them, and delivered them out of the hand of the children of Israel, that they slew them not. And Joshua made them that they hewers of wood and drawers of water for the assembly, and for the altar of Yahuwah, even unto this day, in the place which he should choose.
So the Most High has it to where these people are ready to be our slaves until wherever it is to be. When we come back unto him, and he can then let them be servants unto us. I mean, I ain't got nothing sweet to tell you. We going into Thanksgiving and where this whole entire nation is gonna celebrate the killing of my ancestors. So now I can't sit here and tell you that the Most High is going to bring recompense and everything's going to be lovely. No, the fact of the matter is that everything that they have done is going to be done unto them. In our scriptures, it says the Sabians. It says in Revelations that when we take over, that we're going to give the one that enslaved us to the Sabians. The Sabians are Africans in Ethiopia. Pretty mean people. Meaning they got a lot, they want to deal with. But I love the fact that the Most High says that even the people that have enslaved us, we're going to give them to someone else to be enslaved because we're not going to get dirty, our hands dirty with this slavery business, this business of being inhumane to another human being. That is not where we are. So as we are going to go to Joshua for our Joshua 6 for our understanding of us being a chosen people as we connect this to the film that we're about to show. And I want everybody to thank you for being patient with us with the platforms doing what they're doing, and the people that have been on Facebook that have switched over to Twitch. Thank you very much. And the ones that are still on Facebook, as I'm holding the phone looking at the computer, I pray that you are, you're able to receive this word righteously. Joshua 6, we're going to verse 15. Ready when you are, my sister.
And it came to pass on the seventh day that they rose early about the dawning of the day, and compassed the city after the manner 7 times. Only on that day they compassed the city 7 times. And it came to pass at the 7th time, when the priest blew with the shofars, Joshua said unto the people, shout, for Yahuwah has given you the city.
So it says here that we were to compass the city 7 times. Compass means a second line. That means that we are supposed to be in a procession and walk around all of Jericho in a line, in a procession. And then he wants us to, in verse 16, to blow a trumpet. To blow with a trumpet. That's what we do in our second lines. We march in procession, we compass the city, and we blow trumpets throughout it as we compass the city. They don't do that nowhere else. Not in North America, in Brazil, in the Caribbean, because they are our family, they're our cousin, they're our blood. They are our tribal members. Nobody else does this in those European countries. So when I look at this scripture and I look at the way that Joshua dealt with the people that lied, that needed food, that knew that we were a kingdom, and what those people did by trickery and lies, and then, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Do what I said you will. We didn't know what else to do with you. How about the truth, fool? How about humbling yourself, fool? How about recognize the Most High instead of doing it through some type of trickery, creating your Jesus, your pagan ways? Why couldn't they just come instead of saying we make a pact with you under your God? Because we heard of all the things that he did to the king of Aga and the king of this and that. Why you got to come that way? If you know he's great, you know he has all rule, then what is it in you heathens that you got to come with lies and a forked tongue? Oh, I get it. Because you're the child of your father. You come from a brood of vipers. That's what it is. You can't help yourself. That's why they call you culture vultures. Continue to read.
The book of Joshua, chapter 6, verse 20. So the people shouted when the priest blew with the shofars, and it came to pass when the people heard the sound of the shofar, and the people shouted with a great shout, that the wall fell down flat, so that the people went up into the city, every man straight before him, and they took the city.
And they did what?
And they took the city. And they utterly destroyed all that was in the city, both man and woman, and young and old, and ox and sheep and ass, with the edge of the sword.
See, that is what they fear. They fear that they know they're wrong. The recompense is what they fear. They fear that we're going to do just that to them. But they don't know, like Joshua said. Joshua said it's for the Father to do. When Joshua took these boys in their second line to take over Jericho and the walls fell, they didn't have to shoot nobody. They didn't have to do a thing. It was the shouts and the screams of the daughters of Zion that cried out loud. It was our men in our armor crying out loud from all of our campaigns and wars to now finally be in the promised land, to be on the steps of it, and to have the trumpet blow all in unison. The vibration brought down the walls and killed the inhabitants in it once we got there. We're now going to our film that was 20 and 21. So, as we were saying, we know that we are the people of the book from that from that Joshua passage of Jericho to the fact of the history that we're going to display in this film. We actually went to Jamaica to follow up on the leads, and trying to get this centered for you guys. Thank you, my sister, for reading. Shabbat Shalom, Queen. Yeah. So we are this film, we are in the first 5 minutes, and you'll see I'm gonna stop through the film because of copyright, we're about to release this film for the world to see on monetarily. So we are going to play it in little bits, right, so that everybody can get the understanding of it. But soon it'll be available for everybody to see. But in this, we show this updated. We show the history in the first 5 minutes of this culture and how it connects from the scripture that we just read, as well as the ones we're going to bring up in the film. And then we're going to go into a short part of the football game that we had, our flag football game with the Inyans, and we're going to get a true story from the brother Keenan from a Topeka Ishak tribe in Louisiana, and what Thanksgiving was for us at that time. So I pray that you guys enjoy. Here we go.
The city of New Orleans was called Tchoupitoulas by the black native tribes found here by the Europeans. In 1828, Webster Dictionary defines an American as a native of America, originally applied to the Aboriginals or copper-colored races found here by the Europeans, but now applied to the descendants of Europeans born in America. In 1843, after Noah Webster died, George and Charles Merriam bought the rights to the Webster Dictionary from the Webster estate, and they altered the original definition of American to suit the European ideas of manifest destiny. Prior to the name New Orleans, this land was said to be called West Florida by the Roman explorers from 440 AD in the Josephus Maccabeus map. Likened to Atlantis, Tchoupitoulas.
All right, so I want y'all to understand how this map was done. So this is Africa. They don't have the bottom part of Africa right there, right? They just got the top part because this was what Europe was. This is the Mediterranean Sea right here. And then this was going all the way past China, coming to America, to the New Indies. And this right here, as you can see, was what they called India. But that is South America. And Florida right here is the Americas. So all this is America. So over here, you got your India, and this was Florida. This is the Gulf of Mexico. This is how they had it set. And this was a map they did in 440 AD, 440 AD.
Or New Orleans was one of the richest places on the four corners of the earth. Until this day is referred to as West Florida by Chief Warhorse of the Tchefunctia Nation. We are taught history inverted or backwards in the American school system. Through research, we found that the Hebrew Moors lived in Iberia and Africa as far back as the time of the Carthaginians, or who we know as the Phoenicians. We are taught that the slave trade brought Africans in 1619 to America, when in fact the Spanish slave trade and the persecution of the Hebrew Moors on the Iberian Peninsula started in the Reconquista from 711.
All right, so this is something very important that many people in history are not clear on. We hear about the transatlantic slave trade of 1622. We understand that Christopher Columbus came in 1492, right? So understanding that 1492 is when they supposedly first came to America, and they did not come to North America. He went to Haiti, Hispaniola. That is where Christopher Columbus sailed to. He met the Taino Indians there in 1492. Well, if you go back to the Spanish Reconquista in 711, so 1492, so how many years we talking? 700 years, right? From 711 to 14, 7 to 14, 700 years. Some might say that might sound something like the Dark Ages. That might be during the time of the Moors reigning the world and Europe. And then one may ask themselves, well, wow, didn't the Moors, weren't they the ones saying that they have an agreement with America, that they are sovereign? Isn't it the Moors of America saying that they were sovereign here because they were part of the initial agreement to come to America, that these were their lands, and that they signed these lands that the British came over, that they allowed them to come into their said lands. What does that mean? That means that the Moors were already in America, and the Reconquista shows you that from 711 to 1492, that the Moors were already in America, in lands already, with the indigenous trading. And some were putting them in slavery and doing indentured servitude. All this before 1492. All before Christopher Columbus sailed the blue, right? The ocean blue. So during the Moors' time, the Moors were coming to America doing trade with the indigenous people. In fact, the Spanish that was also popping up from the Roman Catholic Church was also already coming over here. And they were enslaving the indigenous people, taking them from America, bringing them to Spain and Portugal and Iberian Peninsula, toe tagging them, and then bringing them to the South Sudan, bringing them to the Slave Coast, the Ivory Coast, and having penal camps. Because remember, the Spanish and the Portuguese are one and the same. They both follow the same beast, Catholic Roman Church. So they were taking slaves as they were fighting the Moors for power. They were taking slaves from America, us, and taking us to Spain, Portugal, and Iberian Peninsula, toe tagging us, sending us to their penal camps. They're the ones that were not converting, or the ones that they could not, wasn't the prize stock. They put them in the penal camps and made them breed. So they were breeding slaves in the slave coast, run by the Portuguese and the Spanish. Then the happy-go-lucky British, after the Moors lose to Spain and the Spanish, and Rome becomes great, then the British come along 200 years later, 1622, and want to join the slave trade. I wanted to make sure y'all understood this Reconquista of 711 lasting until 1492, when Christopher Columbus sailed, and then it became a British operation. I want y'all to be clear on it.
1411 to 1492. This was a period of war between the Islamic Moors and the Catholic Christians. In 1300s, Aboriginal copper-colored natives of Americas were brought to Europe and to the European colonies in Africa, such as Angola and Ghana, known then as Negro Land. During the same period, Hebrew Moors were fleeing the Spanish Iberian Peninsula for the Isles of America and Africa. Between 1355 and 1415, 300,000 of Spain's black Hebrews, European Jews, and Islamic Moors were forced to convert to Catholicism or be expelled from the Iberian Peninsula of Spain. In 1391, led by Ferran Martinez, Spanish archdeacon, Hebrews were sold to Muslim Moors as slaves, and their prayer books were.
So that's the part of the story you don't get. Remember when they tell you that blacks sold blacks? That's what they were talking about. They were talking about the black Moors selling the black Hebrews. I know that people don't like to hear that, but that's an actual fact. And this priest, this Ferdinand of the Spanish, right? He was the one that stole our Torah. He stole our 5 books of Moses, and he was the one that replaced. He was the one that replaced that with the blasphemous Hail Mary and those damn rosary beads. Yeah.
Were stolen. Martinez set in motion the largest forced mass conversion of Hebrews to Catholicism in Spain. The remaining openly practicing Sephardic Hebrew Moors were expelled by the Catholic monarchs Ferdinand II of Aragon and Isabella I of Castile.
Now,
in 1449, the conversos.
Now there's a question of, and understand that, and let me run that beat back right quick so y'all can understand what I'm saying.
Set in motion the largest forced mass conversion of Hebrews to Catholicism in Spain. The remaining openly practicing Sephardic Hebrew Moors were expelled by the Catholic monarchs.
Okay, Sephardic were expelled. The ones that did not convert to Catholicism, this is all in Spain and Portugal, right? This is before Isabella and Ferdinand with the papal bull made it that anybody that did not follow their white Jesus was a savage and could be killed and put into slavery. This is 1492. This is why Christopher Columbus could sail the ocean blue, come across us, and call us savages, because the Pope had already written a law. The Vatican, when they put out a law, it's called the Papal Bull. Yeah. So these dudes laid up there and wrote a papal bull that said that if you didn't follow the white Jesus, then you were going into slavery. So these Hebrews that would not convert to Catholicism, when the papal bull was written, those Sephardic Jews, those Sephardic Hebrews, meaning that they were black in Spain before the Romans came in, it was named Sephar. That was the name of Spain before the heathens got there. It was called Sephar. And that's why they're called Sephardic Hebrews. They call them Jews, but that's people of Judea. These were Sephardic Hebrews, Hebrews that were in Spain before it was taken over by Isabella and Ferdinand and the Catholic Church. So the ones that would not, they enslaved them. The ones that would not cross over to Christianity, the ones that would not pay the Catholic Church, that would not give the Vatican their first child and the money, they enslaved them. Yeah. The Hebrews.
Ferdinand II of Aragon and Isabella I of Castile. In 1449, the conversos, or Spanish Jews that chose to convert to Catholicism and could prove their whiteness, were subject to the purity of blood laws. In 1492, a group of conversos financed the gold-seeking, human trafficking voyage of who we know as Christopher Columbus. Columbus was sent to claim and subjugate the territory known today as Haiti. Luis Torres was a Hebrew Moor who performed the role of interpreter for Christopher Columbus on his first American voyage. Luis Torres came from a cultural lineage of able seafaring men, maritime traders, and global adventurers. We are going to show you through these films that the indigenous history of New Orleans is directly connected to the evolution of mankind nationally and globally. One clear example of this unforgettable mark made by Aboriginal New Orleanians in the history books happened less than 300 years ago. In early 1700s, Jean-Baptiste Point du Sabal, a native Haitian trader, trapper, and farmer, met a native Chitimacha Indian of New Orleans. Together, Dusabal and the Chitimacha from New Orleans traveled up north to the cousins of the Chitimacha, where Dusabal met and married the cousins of the Chitimacha, a Potawatomi Indian named Katawa. Together at the mouth of the Ishikago River on the...
Now, when we were talking earlier about the fact that the chief that met these people for Thanksgiving, the story that was given, that he was the chief Powhatan. And this was a Powhatan Indian that it was a tribe that the brother from the Chitimacha Indian from New Orleans went up to Chicago and he married into that Powhatan tribe. That meant that they were from the Powhatan Coalition or Federation of Indigenous Indians were from Chicago all the way to Massachusetts, all the way down to Virginia. That's how big they were. So that's Pennsylvania. That's all of these different states in between Chicago, Illinois, and Massachusetts and Virginia. So we have been going back and forth together. We have there was called the Hopewell Society and the Marksville Society. When you look in ancient history, these were the trade routes that were done. The South was known as the Marksville trade, and the Illinois to the East Coast was known as the Hopewell trade. So the Hopewell and the Marksville traded with each other, and we all was brothers and sisters. This is before the Europeans came. This is what was happening here. And like our scripture with Joshua, these people came. We had a kingdom. We this is our land. We don't have a concept. It's our land that's given to us by the Father. We don't have a concept of being stingy. We give here. We work with you. We're trying to be of love. We give you food. There's no reason to lie. Okay, now you're gonna be our servants if you lied to us. But we wasn't killing you. We weren't out killing and maiming and raping and pillaging, doing what you do. It's easy to see what type of people does this. It's unfortunate that our people, to stay alive, had to adapt and become like these savages. But they're the heathens. Let's go.
Site of the current Tribune Towers, they started an 800-acre family fur trading post in Chicago, which is now known as the city of Chicago. The Chicago natives and Dusabal united to slow down the European settlement. Till this day, from Chicago to New Orleans to Haiti, these same Aboriginals have been bearing the load and pain resulting from economic constraints, resource deprivation, and cultural appropriation. These vices were purposely brought by the Europeans to Turtle Island, North America, along with alcohol and broken treaties. Centuries of European corruption through miseducation, bombardment of synthetic drugs from pharmaceuticals to cocaine, and the forced religious conversions or slaughters of the Aboriginal, labeled savages by the Pope, left behind monumental barriers to preserving our culture.
You're in the wrong part of town. You're in the wrong part of town. Catch you in the night, what's done go down. Say we catch you in the night, what's done go down. You're in the wrong part of town. You're in the wrong part of town. Catch you in the seven, what's done go down. Yeah, we catch you in the seven, what's done go down. 5-4 do the signal when they do that trouble. They got a big gang coming and they ready to rumble. Wild man, go to wild and get them off my block. Shoot, shoot around the clock. Said if they shoot the wrong signal, somebody might die. On the mighty drive, moaning on axe. But why I say crying, la John, la do create.
The forced worship of false idols like Caesar Borgia, the illegitimate son of Pope Alexander VI, who is internationally projected as the image of Jesus Christ, has misled and misguided generations of American Aboriginals for centuries. From historically documented eras of paper
Now, I want y'all to know that last clip right there, when we explain who their false prophet is through history, that is what got our funding taken from us when we were debuting the film. People feel like that's very hard for people to hear in this day and age. Like that's offensive. They're afraid to hurt delicate feelings. such as the orange pervert, and they want to not damage his delicate feelings and tell him that he lost, and allowing him to disrupt and spend taxpayer dollars on his pity party. I could care less what happens with him. I'm just stating that that's what the business is, because this is who they are as a people.
Genocide and overt reclassification of black Indians as Negroes or other U.S. census-generated classifications. Europeans have infused drunken gods of revelry like Bacchus into our spiritual processions called second lines and our black Indian ceremonies. We're going to show the true history of a resilient remnant that still maintains their cultural practices despite the sunken fangs of colonialism.
Yeah, get a pretty big cheap on the holiday. You're in the wrong part of town. You're in the wrong part of town. Catch you in the night, what's going go down? Catch you in the night, what's going go down? You're in the wrong part of town. Oh, you're in the wrong part of town. Catch you in the seven, what's going go down? Yeah, we catch you in the seven, what's going go down? Way downtown where the roots are from to the south, call it hell, but we call them home.
Janice Kimball's been a baby doll her entire life. Her cultural ties go back generations.
My grandmother was a gold digger baby doll in the 1920s. And my sister took up a name, I was that, but then I branched off to be my own Trimmy baby doll. And people come to New Orleans to see all this, and so that's what we tried to keep it alive.
The same goes for Glenn Jones, owner of blackmasking.org.
We chronicle the culture of this city, which many people know as Mardi Gras Indians, but they actually started 100 years prior to.
From the Indians to the social aid and pleasure clubs, preserving New Orleans black culture is a treasure many fear is withering away.
We've interviewed over 37 of the big chiefs in this community, and the fact that the city makes $900 million a year off of this culture, but yet nonprofits come in and use that culture to get festivals and whatnot, and these Indians are actually paid little to nothing.
Jones's concerns, along with dozens of others, were expressed inside of the Treme Center during a community meeting about New Orleans culture. For these New Orleanians who have been here for generations, they fear newcomers and gentrification are erasing everything they know.
Y'all take pictures of us, y'all put us on your commercials, you send them all over the world, and we don't get a dime.
My understanding is right now our culture and the culture that we bring here in New Orleans is we don't want it to be weakened or watered down. I'm understanding that there are some concerns that maybe others are coming into the city and maybe trying to mimic the culture. I want our culture bearers to know that what we have here is authentic and genuine, and that we're not going to allow that to happen.
It's that promise those in the crowd want fulfilled, ensuring their rich traditions that were passed down to them gets carried on for generations to come. In New Orleans, I'm Carice Jackman, Eyewitness News.
Not all African people got here through the slave trade before this place was called America.
Now, that first part of the film was showing you guys the actual historical, documented journey of how this transatlantic slave trade came about, who were the people here, the Reconquista, the understanding that we were already in this land, the understanding that Moors as well as Hebrews were the controlling of the entire world up until the 1300s. When you look at, and I'm going to pull off of here right quick and go to this for you guys to see. And go to our website, you'll see that when you get to the Hebrew State of Being tab, that you'll see the icons of Russia. Computer's moving a little slow, got a lot of things open. Like I said, the computer's moving a little slow. I'm a little tabby. One second. Here we go. When you look, so you see right here that this is Moses and King David by Duccio di Buonasenga Signe in the 1300s. A very rare piece. But what you see is that they're black. This is Moses and King David. Black men that was in Russia. This is done in Russia. So if the Spanish, all the way to 1300s, and this is David again, if, and this is all Russian icons, this is from the 1100s right here. This is 1100s of King David. If Russia depicted us as the holy people in the 1300s, or 1100s actually, excuse me, because the Russian icons are from the 1200s. If they depicted us as the holy people of being black, and we were in Spain, so far Portugal and Iberian Peninsula, and then we got double crossed by the Cid Moors, who were turned Islam because they were not Moors, supposed to come from the Moabite tribe, which the Moabite tribe comes from Lot, which is the nephew of Abraham. Those are facts. So we're talking about all people of the same families, right? So the Moors sold us out, as our Caucasians like to tell us so much during Black history and about the slavery, that blacks sold blacks, the Africans sold Africans. Well, the case of the matter is that Moab was confederate with the Caucasians to sell their cousins, the Hebrews, into slavery in the 1400s. And then that turned into the 1600s of the transatlantic slave trade. Let me give you one more. Hold on. So that's Yasha coming out divine, 1100s. Mary, right? Christ and Mary looks pretty black to me. You know what I'm saying? It looks pretty authentically our people. So if we can look at the fact that even the priests pray to the Black Madonna, which is Miriam, which is what Yasha's name is. And you see the black baby right there in it, which is Yasha. And this is what they have at their most richest churches, their most vaulted European churches. They are praying to images of us. So when I tell you, you know, as we're reading, as we're understanding that Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68 speaks of us being sold in slave ships because we turned away from the Father. That the reason that we're in the position that we're in is because we turned away from our power. And all this history and these films, all this is doing is showing how we fell out of favor. What we did. We followed their gods to the point that they put us in slavery. Even though they're scared of our Most High, even though they're scared of our Creator, they know that we got no power if we are following their false gods. So the rest of this film, right, is the Inyans of the community speaking about the downtown culture. The downtown culture is different from the uptown culture, just as we're explaining the Moors and the Hebrews, but all being black, just like Canaanite, the Africans are not the same as Shem. Ham and Shem are two totally different entities and looks and phenotypes, proven through biology that the Negroid head skull has a definitive shape and size that puts us and connects us to King David. not to mention the DNA as well. So as we are in this November and we're dealing with all this witchcraft of October, we're dealing with these rituals of this election, and now they're going to give you the story again to get you back into the fact of believing that they came here in peace and they killed you by happenstance, that you are not of the 12 tribes that were here, that you are not a holy people here, that you are not running the world until we left the Father, and their kingdoms, as it has been prophesied, what came down on top of our heads. And they have given us their history. But as we are waking up in this hour, we are getting our history.
Before Louisiana was a part of America. So I always relate this culture to the indigenous people. Africans have explored many parts of the world, not just Louisiana, many years before what we know as the transatlantic slave trade. You can go to Poverty Point, this northern Louisiana, and you'll see mounds. And mounds are just, to me, examples of pyramids that you'll find on the continent of Africa. So it's the same pretty much culture that you'll find here in Louisiana. So when it refers to the culture that we call the Mascan Indians or the Black Indians, that people may refer to as the Mardi Gras Indians, so when we refer to the Africans paying homage, when it relates to this quote-unquote Mardi Gras Indian tradition, we say, who exactly are we paying homage to? Masking is not new for us. You know, when you go back 1,000 years in the history of Africa, you'll find that we wore feathers, that we had a masking culture. When you look at the beating system, you know, I always relate the system that we use with the Black Indians in New Orleans to the Nigeria style of beating, which is the Yoruba style of beating. This culture is really a culture that comes from our existence as indigenous people of the land.
There were actually Black Indians here. It wasn't Africa. It wasn't Arabian. We were Black Indians here. And one thing I liked about the Pocahontas, you got a good tambourine practice. It's power coming out. Everybody is singing it. When they hot, when they warm, do that tambourine. You got all kinds of little tambourine. I admired Tootie Montana.
Tootie was the only chief that ever masked and was a head. I tell you, was the father of 100 and some people masked with him in Indians.
Because everybody will try to be the one. But I feel like there was only one. It was Tootie Montana.
Dow Montana, who taught me everything, comes from Tootie Montana, which is a great legacy.
I masked with Tootie Montana since I was 12 years old, for about 25 years.
I was his friend for 20 years.
It's where I got everything I know now. You know what I'm saying? He's always going to be my chief of chiefs.
Great man, still a great chief. He always be my heart. He always be my chief.
You know, when he walked up, if they had an Indian, I didn't care who they was. Uncle Tootie and my dad walked up to the chief. All attention went towards him.
Without Tootie, man, it would have never been an Indian downtown. You know, without his dad, there would have been a seven-born Indian. Seven-born Indian makes. We make one of the beautiful suits you want to see. Jerome Smith of Tamarine and Fan is another inspiration in this Indian culture thing. We were taught this. And sewing, second lining, and every aspect of what we were doing.
She had a tambourine and I started early in the morning when I leave my home. I hoop and I holler with the Indian song.
Julie was the chief of the Monogram Hunters. Jerome was actually a teacher of children. And, you know, he saved a lot of lives. He saved me.
And what she said?
She was, her famous quote was, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Originally, my daddy, Seuss was flat like everybody else. That was about in 1963. He brought everything out.
There's a guy by the name of Cornell. He showed a lot of cats all through some in other places how to do some of that three-dimensional work.
The Yellow Pocahontas 7 Ward Indians that do these three-dimensional, what they call creative art, that was usually called the downtown Indian style.
They make designs and abstract beat work.
Downtown design, you might have one piece that may have 11 or 12 pieces to that one piece.
21, 24, 25, 26. To make that one, just that one piece, that's 26 pieces to that.
They call it a three-dimensional rings, which is very pretty.
Mathematics and all that come in these suits.
You gotta learn how to use that ruler, you know what I'm saying?
Each bead, you know, each design is basically the same size, and you can look at each design and tell how you do that mathematically. And I buck and bob that ground do just what I wanted to do. And it's well balanced, because guess what? You know, never do this. It's always with me. It become part of me. The suits, when they made it right and they fit you, they become part of it.
Once you put a mask on, you're not a person anymore. You become the energy or the entity of what it is that you're masking. So, you know, we look at this year-long process of beading as prayer beads, and then eventually you're taking that beaded thing and making this temple. And you're taking that temple, you put that temple on, and you transform into that mask.
Now, this is my favorite part of the entire experience of putting the film together, right? Was I understood that from watching it, because I have not sewn a suit, right? That is not, the Most High has not blessed me with that skill, right? But as I was making the connections and doing the studying and reading scriptures, and I understood that the process of putting that suit together, and my line, you can help me out with this, Ashley. The process of putting that suit together, as many chiefs told me and different Inyans told me, they are everything that has happened in that year is in that suit. The good, the bad, the ugly, everything is in that suit. And usually, if it's a theme of resurrection, or it's a theme of killing something that was going bad in your life at the time. So when Shaka said that they become that, and it becomes a temple, and I thought about it in our scriptural manner, I'm like, whoa, the Father already said that we are the temple, that he destroyed Jerusalem, and that he no longer lives in anybody's church. You can forget that. Most High is not in any church. He says he's not in any four corners. That's why our celebration, our feast day is the tabernacles, because that's when we're under his covering. He says he is the sky. He cannot be held in a building. So when he says that he's not in any building, but he's within his people. So he has small temples running around all over the place. I'm a temple. You're a temple. It's what is our temple saying? And when Ashley, so when the Inyans are doing it and they put that suit on, they are consumed by the spirit that they have put in that suit. See, the power is in us. That suit would not happen without the imagination, the heart, and a desire to get it done by that Inyan, right? So the power of that suit, the fact that suit exists, is all from that Inyan that created it. So when that Inyan put that on, yes, they become one, they marry. It is like the yoke that we spoke about with the ox and being yoked with the Father. Because now they have given birth to that spirit, to that energy, to that suit. That's why that suit is priceless. Nobody who have gone through the things that Inyan has gone through for that year, to put that energy, to put that thought, to put that art, to put that talent into that one-of-a-kind piece, that is a connection to the ancestors. It's powerful. So in this time of COVID and putting all of our dreams, money, resources, everything into putting together a film like this and doing the different interviews we did and the games and the website and all of those things, doing all of that. Now, don't feel like it's a waste. Now, I can't recoup any money and put on a suit and go perform. That's not how it works for us that are burden bearers, that are the ones that are supporting the culture. We do what we do to make sure that the culture is still there, so there's something for us to do. There was no culture. There would be nothing to film. There would be nothing to document. There would be nothing to show our connection to our scripture. So we can't be mad right now that we have not been able to capitalize on all the work that we have done. We know that the Father did this so that we would educate and that we would share this love and that others would see it and others would respond to it and know this to be the truth. In a world full of lies, just being able to put truth out is a rewarding thing. So our Thanksgiving was tabernacles. But as everybody's going to be in their thoughts of Thanksgiving, our thoughts of Thanksgiving is the fact that even though we are in the midst of this limbo and not know what's going on, we know that the Father has us together, that He has resources for us. He has provisions. He has gold mines that we are sitting on. There's just a matter of us being patient to let the Most High wove that suit for us, to let the Most High sew that suit for us. See, the suit that is being sewn for me right now is being sewn by the Most High. Man, I give so much thanks and praise to be able to say that the suit that I am gonna wear eventually, that when all of this comes together, this black mask and this Inyans, this us being a resource, us being able to help the Inyans raise money and create their own economic lane, that's the goal of this. The goal of this is to show who we are so that the resources come back to the people that have been the burden, not the burden, let's say the cultural pillars of our community. So it's about us creating an avenue that's going to bring about economics to our community that is not connected to the devils, to the heathen system. So I know the Father is still sewing that suit for me. So no, I'm not upset that things aren't the way that they should be or the way that we had hoped or the way that we had planned. We know that we're in the Father's plan and we got patience in His time. So the suit that the Father is making for all of our efforts and for the benefit of our community, we first got to burn like California. First, we got to erupt like the volcanoes. First, we got to have hurricanes and we got to have earthquakes so that the earth can cleanse itself, so that we can be renewed in the Father with the understanding that He makes all things happen. And your daughters do, and they look beautiful when they put them on. That's right.
As you can see, everything is 3D. You know, we so taking nothing away from Uptown. That's our culture too. There's only one culture.
Now I sew with beads, which is an Uptown thing, and I mix beads with sequins. Because downtown was a sequin anyway. And I mix beads with my work now.
This uptown, downtown style doesn't really hold true anymore?
All Indians make these suits, not costumes.
You don't say costume.
The clown wear costume.
Because I look at this as living art. You know, so it's living history for us. It is also in evolving history.
My artwork comes from my vineyard. The majority of the suits that I have created is animals. So this is a whole sheep.
Sometimes you don't find Native American theme or Native Indigenous theme in suits. You find abstract theme or maybe African theme or something like that.
I'm not about uptown, not about downtown, not about back of town. You know what? I'm about the spirit of fire.
I tell the New Indian boys, there's only two kinds of people. And everybody say uptown and downtown. And it's not so long. There's only two kinds of Indians. And there's innovators and duplicators.
It's changed now. But what we do, we feel, is on the top level of the ostrich plumes, beans, and green stuff.
You hear many stories about what style is harder, what style takes longer. And I can honestly tell you, I've done both styles. And so you're going to have to sew no matter what style you're doing. So
you have to respect the stitches because they have just as many stitches as what we do. It's just two different cultures.
It's a funny thing how you pick up something and you don't know how powerful it is. But I haven't put the needle and thread down since 1994.
That seat right there with that light in front of it, I sit there, I spend about 5,000 hours a year in that spot.
You feed them, take thousands of hours goes into it, you know, and help from everybody that love it.
Because nobody can make this stuff by themselves.
You're going to need the community, you're going to need the family.
The queens is the backbone, keep them in order. Nobody understand that because a lot of the guys, I don't have that problem with my guys. They all humbuggers. And if you don't have a woman in that group or a queen, somebody, a woman period, in that group to tell them, hey, we have never had no humbuggers in our group, we not gonna allow it.
You gotta tell them, that's right.
And I think that's one reason why my husband never got into it.
You sew all year long. And you sew the culture. So if I'm sewing all year long, the majority of the time that I'm sewing, I'm happy.
This is what shows that you are doing the work yourself, is when you can show those battle scars, as I call them, when your hand craftsmanship is proven.
It's been times when things get down on me, I would rather leave it in prayer. So all night long.
That's right.
People sleeping, snowing, and everything. You still up?
Yep. You might hear Indians singing, no ramba shayena, no ramba shayena. I turn all around now, I bring it down to the ground now. No ramba shayena, ramba shay. You know what that word means? Raggedy. You don't want to use no ramba shay.
To me, all Indians are pretty. I never seen an ugly Indian.
Anybody who's dressed, I respect what they do because I know what it takes.
You know what I'm saying? When you say you're an Indian, everybody, you respect every Indian. If a man got one design on him and you look like this and he come down the street, he got one design on him, don't disgrace him. No, man, you don't know what he had to do that.
But Indian is key and everything else come after that.
Even though we are powerful one at a time, when you put us all together, we're that much more. Out of big temple, that's what that means. Won't bow down, don't know. I make a caterpillar crawl, a slippery wall, and when I get him to the top, I dare him to fall.
It's just the power of the needle and thread.
You know, it's like to not have us, this is how serious it is. To not have us is like gumbo without the seasoning.
When he first met, he met 5 years before he put a crown on. He could sing, he could dance, and he could discuss his costume. And the costume was never seen as a costume. It was his person. So the name tambourine comes from this. No bomba comes from this. I don't care where I go, city council, New York, wherever I've been, I took the spirit of my neighborhood with me. What's the name of your daycare? What's the name of the camp? What's the name of the camp? What's the name of the camp? And
that was the end of our short film, part 1, because we will be doing part 2 of the Uptown. And then we're going to do a large film that's going to be all of the culture, from the second line clubs to the brass bands to the big queens to the baby dolls to to truly show our indigenous culture in all of its formats and how it connects back to scripture and how it has been has kept our history through its practices. Like I said, I wanted to play this clip of from our flag football game. This is the flag football game we had with the different tribes, uptown and downtown. The first time it ever happened before that we were able to bring uptown and downtown together to have a flag football game, because we were in the process of changing the meaning of this day, this Thanksgiving that's coming up, right? And we were doing that by us coming together and communing and making sure that people understood this is the truth, that we were standing up for the truth about this day and that we were indigenous people and that this is how we're still being treated to this day and not be able to participate in the national lie. But in this is where we have my brother Keenan, that's going to express from his tribe the story that's been passed down to him about Thanksgiving. Well, wearing my shirt tonight, you know what I'm saying?
Day is just a day of activity, brotherhood,
brotherhood,
safety, fun.
Hey man, this game brings a lot of people together from all walks of life. That's why I'm out here at my age, at 67, bro. Yes, sir.
Up out there, man. Yeah, I just got
on Thanksgiving, the Puritans, people who came from Europe, killed my people off, and they got diseases and smallpox and stuff like that. And every Thanksgiving day was a slaughter. There were Thanksgiving days 3 or 4 times a week. So every time there was a slaughter of my people, there was a Thanksgiving celebration. So the President Abraham Lincoln decided to stop the slaughtering by declaring one national day of Thanksgiving. And that's how we get today, the one national day of Thanksgiving, to stop the slaughtering that happened all year of the native people. My people, your people.
No, you did.
The one national day of Thanksgiving to stop by declaring one. Abraham Lincoln decided my people, there was a Thanksgiving days 3 or 4 times a week. So everything like that. And
3-4 times
on
a day,
Thanksgiving,
the
Puritans, people who came from Europe,
I'm sorry, guys,
killed my people off, and they got diseases and smallpox and stuff like that. And every Thanksgiving day was a slaughter. There were Thanksgiving days 3 or 4 times a week. So every time there was a slaughter of my people, there was a Thanksgiving celebration. So the President Abraham Lincoln decided to stop the slaughtering by declaring one national day of Thanksgiving. And that's how we get today, the one national day of Thanksgiving, to stop the slaughtering that happened all year of the native people. My people, your people.
No, you did. I finished that. That guy with a 9 on his back. Oh, you gotta tell you. Downtown. Don't make me say it. Downtown. We make it play. I don't like that. It's very disgusting, ladies and gentlemen. I was going to know from here on out, this is fun enough between uptown and downtown, but we love each other. We do this, but guess what, right now? This competition, downtown is bringing the pain. We're trying to get in back there, bro. We're trying to make it. Substitution, ladies and gentlemen. Is that what you call it?
Never stop before uptown and downtown playing
like y'all don't hear this. Y'all play it for the game. Come watch this sound.
Get a profile. That's why we're in the purple. The downtown one.
Come help me out over here around all these purple jerseys. Come on in the circle of love. Come in the purple circle of love, brother. Come on. I gotta get it. So we got Big Chief right here representing Uptown. Oh, that's what it is. Up on the night, it ain't no one You saw a couple of the dots. I had to say it. I'm sorry to say it. I had to say it. So we want to make our presentation. We got a trophy here. Now, this is different, right? Because this trophy is not.
Well, I just wanted to show y'all guys that part, but get back to our scriptures. But, this is, nothing but great memories, man. And we're going to make more. You know what I mean? I know everybody in Facebook got kicked out. My phone went dead. Sorry about that, guys. Lot going on, So, but let's go to Hebrews chapter 13. I'll let y'all enjoy y'all Shabbat tonight. We're going to go to Hebrews 13, verse 15. And it says, by him, therefore, let us offer the sacrifice of praise to the Most High continually. That is the fruit of our lips, giving thanks to his name. So, no, we're not going to have Thanksgiving meals and dinners and doing that stuff. We're going to give thanks to the Father properly for him that's going to recompense our enemies. Because if we are eating with our enemies and if we are celebrating with our enemies, then we're going to die with our enemies. And he says that in his scripture. So we have to understand getting back to who we are, getting back to giving praise in a proper way, giving thanks in a proper way. Remember, these Europeans are giving thanks supposedly unto us. Because remember, in that scenario, we have no reason to give them thanks. They brought guns and alcohol. And what does that do to our community to this day? Guns and alcohol. Oh, they brought a little sniff too, because they was about that. Them Europeans was about that cocaine. Been about that cocaine. So let's go to Psalms 116, and we're gonna let you guys go tonight on that. We are not that. We are loving people that loves the Most High and knows who our Creator is. What is Psalms 116, baby? All right. We are loving people. You see it in our scripture. You see it in us in this present day. How we deal with our enemies, how we deal with these problems. Always trying to be loving. That's why you can have a Martin Luther King with the turn the other cheek. That's why you can have the duality of it with Malcolm X saying that by any means necessary. We are all things come from us. Scientifically, all things come from the dark, the abyss, the black, the unknown. The power all comes from the black, the melon. Day starts in the darkness. The Gregorian European calendar tells you otherwise, but the old world of antiquity and everyone knows that the day starts with darkness. It's the dawning of the light that brings in the next part of that day. So 116 it says, love the Most High because he hath heard my voice and my supplication, because he hath inclined his ear unto me. Therefore will I call upon him as long as I live. The sorrow of death compassed me. The pains of hell gat hold upon me. I found terrible sorrow. I called upon the name of the Most High. O Most High, I beseech thee, deliver my soul. Gracious is the Most High and righteous. Yea, our Most High, our power is merciful. The Most High preserveth the simple. I was brought low, and he helped me. Return unto thy rest, O my soul, for the Most High hath dealt bountifully with thee. So your soul can be at rest because you can know that the Father, your Creator, is going to deal with you justly. Now, in order for you to get a just recompense, that means you need to be doing righteous. That's not turning your cheek to your enemy. That's standing on the name. That's being a thug for the Father, guarding your Sabbath, saying this is what I am. And if you want to persecute me, kill whatever you want to do what you do. But I'm not stopping us. I'm not getting off of this rock because it is my only salvation. Y'all have nothing but lies for me. Your holidays are lies. There's nothing that's good. The thing that's supposed to be good about this society is their holidays, and every single one of them is wrapped in a lie. Christmas is nothing but the belief in Nimrod. His birthday is the November 25th. Thanksgiving is not about the Europeans and indigenous coming together. It's about the Europeans lying and killing the indigenous. Easter is not about the resurrection of Yasha. It's not about the Passover. It's about fertility and rabbits and having sex. I almost lost myself. It's about iniquity of sex. None of their holidays, Halloween, bringing about spirits and witches. None of their holidays is about righteousness or goodness. Yeah, we have fun with them because we get drunk and go see our people. But the day and the meaning itself holds no value and no weight. The Most High give us feast days where we are able to give thanks to Him, and He's able to commune with us and give us barakas for acknowledging that He is the one that is doing in our life, the good and the bad. Return unto thy rest, O soul, for thy Most High hath dealt bountifully with thee. For thou hast delivered my soul from death, mine eyes from tears, and my feet from failing. I will walk before the Most High in the land of the living. I believe, therefore, I have spoken. I was greatly afflicted. He said in my haste, all men are liars. What shall I render unto the Most High for all His benefits towards me? So clearly, it's understood that everything a man provides is a god doggone lie. And now we're trying to figure out what can I do to give thanks to the Most High that He hears me so that it benefits thee. Well, we read that in Hebrews 13:15. It said, give praise and acknowledge Him for all that He's done. We read in our scriptures the other night, He does not want your sacrifices. He's tired of your burnt offerings and incense because they have been empty. He says, but go tell everybody else that believes in the devil, that believes in themselves, that believes that they can create all things, that the Most High, the Creator, has nothing to do with it, that this is all circumstance and happenstance. Say, but go tell them. You really want to sacrifice for me? You really want some burnt offerings in here? He said, go and take the ridicule of the world. Stand on me. And then I'll have you. And I got you. I will take the cup of salvation, and upon the name of the Most High, I will pay my vows unto the Most High now in the presence of all His people. So you pay your homage by standing and telling your people, I'm not joining in that Thanksgiving thing. I'm not eating no pork. Precious is the sight of the Most High, is the death of His saints. O Most High, I truly am the servant. I am thy servant and the son of thine handmaid. Thou hast loosed my bonds. So we are clearly, he's letting them know that you loose the bonds off of these people. Like these people would have never stopped putting a vice grips on my balls. These people would have never loosened up the yoke on my neck. Only you could have done it because these people are hateful. These people are liars. These people are vengeance. These people are whoremongers. They are murderers. They don't believe any good thing can come out the hood. So obviously, if I got some favor from them people, it's because you changed their heart. See, we give our thanks during the tabernacle, 7 days in with Him. It's a holy convocation. On the first day, it's a feast with everyone. And the last day, the 8th day, is a feast with all of the congregation, the assembly, the tribes. That's when we do our Thanksgiving. We had that, right? Ours was our feast day, the Tabernacles, was October 2nd to the 9th this year. Our Day of Atonement, when we gave up our sins unto him, was in September. The Feast of Trumpets, when we screamed out loud that this is our Savior, we know who our Creator is. And what is Tabernacle? It says, our beginnings, remember how the Most High provided for us in the desert. It is our Thanksgiving. Our Thanksgiving. And it says, I will offer thee the sacrifice of thanksgiving and will call upon the name of the Most High. I will pay my vows unto the Most High. Now is the presence of all his people in the courts of the Lord's house, in the courts of the Most High's house, in the midst of thee, O Jerusalem, praise ye the Most High. That means you're going to be called out on what you believe in. Now, if you got a family that wants to celebrate on this particular third Thursday of November, and you don't want to be with the heathens, then you give thanks to the Father. You give thanks, you cook, you have everybody come over, you let them know about the Feast of Tabernacles. You educate your family and friends about the tabernacles on that day and all that he's done for us by taking us out of Egypt and that we are the chosen people. Then you can turn that pagan, that heathen celebration into something that is worthy of the Father appreciating. But if not, if you're just going to go there and shuck and jive and dance with everyone and drink your belly full and eat your belly full and act as though that you ain't got a car, you ain't got a bike, you ain't got feet that can go and say hello and show love to your elders in your family and your other loved ones, that you need this day that the pagans have created, the heathens have created, you do not. You do not. So this is just our beginning of ThanksKILLING. There will be a part 2 where I'm going to go through history and let you guys really see, not just from what my brother from Atopeka Ishak Keelan said from Keelan from Atopeka Ishak, not just what we know in New Orleans and Louisiana, what they did when it was killing us 3 to 4 times a week. And the president had to make it 1 time a year. We're going to show you some other history to historical stuff to support that, of how wretched these heathens were and still are as we're leading up to this hell day on the 28th, as we're in the midst of this Hellenistic season of the winter solstice, as we are in the midst of their lies and their confusion and their confoundment and their iniquity. Father said, don't get caught up with them. Know that I got you. Come back to these scriptures. Be righteous. Be in your home. You don't need to be out there in the streets with them people. You don't need to be on no picket lines with them people. You don't need to be in none of that. The Most High is bringing them to their demise. He is bringing them to fight against themselves. They are, oh, you better believe there's going to be a fight. But you ain't got to be in it. If you're giving thanks to the Most High, reading and understanding who you are as the indigenous, then you're going to let the people that broke into your house, we put it like this, 2 robbers broke into your house and they started to get into a fight over your stuff. Do you, in the middle of the robbers fighting over your stuff, do you get in the middle and say, hold up, don't fight? Or do you pick a side? No. You sit there and you pray that they're going to kill themselves so that you can call the police to go ahead and take them out your home and you can continue to have your home. That's what this is about. That's the mind state that we are in. Praying that the Most High keeps us safe while these savages are in our home fighting over our things. We are praying that they kill themselves and remove themselves as we give praise unto the Father, because we know only He can do that. Only He can make that happen. I want to thank everybody. Let me see, look at the chat up here. I'm planting seeds with that Torah, and I know that it's gonna part like the Red Sea, but I'm gonna anoint that they impart their ways of thinking. Yes, when them people part their ways of thinking, yes. posting Hebrews 9G. All right. That's my plan for my stubborn lost family. Yeah, I hear you, my brother. I can have a copy of the holy days and the feast days. Yes, I'm gonna get you a copy of that. I'm gonna email it to you. If you can DM me on Facebook, Ashley, and give me your email address, and I'll send you the feast day printout. And anybody else that wants it, I can send them the feast day printout. Yes. All right. So other than that, man, um, yes, the suit, humble 10, 12, 17. Yeah, the suit can translate into a full armor of the Most High. And that is what this whole thing is about, man. I give all praise on the Shabbat. Whoever that is, whoever humble 10, 12, 17 is, you hit the head of the nail with the hammer. The whole reason for everything that we do on Black Masking is that every Inyan in New Orleans, their suit becomes and translates to a full armor of the Most High. Can you imagine if New Orleans is marching down the street with their trumpets, with their feathers, giving praise to the Most High? Not drunkard, but in war mode for the Most High. I'm talking 1,500 Inyans in the city that's about that action. Do you understand what we can do? That's the whole thing. That's this whole movement. That's what this whole thing is about. I give all praises for that person that caught that, man. That is what it's about. All praise to the Most High. That's exactly what this is about. That's exactly what this whole thing is about. Is that we pray that the Most High will bless our works, that everybody in the city of New Orleans will know that they are the chosen seed of the Most High, and that the Indians, they will rise to the top of our community as the leaders of our community, knowing that they have been following the practices of Jericho, even though they didn't realize that they have been following it. And that now that puts them at the top because they are the culture pillars for us. And then they would lead our community. That the Inyans will lead our community with their suits of the Most High, with their trumpets give praise unto the Father, and that the people will scream out loud that we ain't taking this no more. We don't care what city government you are. We don't care what federal government you are. We are covered by the Most High, and we will watch them bow. I give all praises for that. That's what my fight is. Y'all want to know what my fire is at? That's been my fire. That's my dream. That's the fruition that I want to see. That's all praise to the Father. That is what I'm fighting for. That is what I sacrifice for. That is what I keep my mouth shut for. That is what I am humbled for. That vision. That's the vision I have. Inyans will lead. The elders will lead. Inyans will be fully suited with beaded work of the Most High, with beaded work of war, with beaded work of the Torah. And we will follow y'all with guns, with knives, with our children, with our wives. We will follow because you will take in your rightful place. And the rest of the world will follow as well because the world knows that the Most High seed is in New Orleans. Yeah. Oh, praise. Yeah. Y'all got me worked up on the Shabbat, man. I give all praise, man. Look. Yeah, man. That's what I fight for. That's what my passion is for. Yeah. I can't. I pray the Father allows me to see that. I may not see Yasha crack the sky, but I pray He allows me to see all of our Inyans, 1,500 plus, with them trumpets and them drums and them tambourines, leading the way, screaming, giving songs of praise unto the Father, and the trumpets are playing behind them, and the people are following in their procession, saying that we will take no more. That our Father says we are here, we at the door. You gonna give it up or be our servants? You gonna give it up or be our servants? Because trust me, the mentality of New Orleans, when we all come together like that, ain't nothing gonna stop us. Ain't no conversation, ain't no liberals coming in. Let's talk about it. No. You're gonna give us what we come for. And unfortunately, until we do that, I see Ashley say breathe. But unfortunately, until we do that, we will continue to be treated the way we are in New Orleans as well as the rest of this nation until we rise up together in the Father's name. And whatever armor you have, whatever suit you have on, it's giving praise and homage with the understanding that you are his seed and you're doing his work and this is his plan. Oh, then there will be nothing that can stop us. Nothing. I leave y'all with that as a thought. Imagine that 1,500 Inyans with feathers, wide, 6 feet high, 6 feet to the side, screaming out. And I ain't talking about no satin underneath it. I'm talking about a crown. I'm talking about a vest or a breastplate with no sleeves, with nothing but your wrist pieces, full muscle out. You know what I'm saying? It's war. It's not for the dance. It's not for the performance, but the suit for the war. You know what I'm talking about? So the arms can move around, so you can get to pulling out shotguns if you need to pull out the machetes, whatever you got to do, what you got to do. But you understand, 1,500 of them, warriors, men and women, warriors suited up, leading the band, leading the drums and the trumpets and the tambourines, and the people behind that. You got the steppers behind them that's dancing for the Father in praise. You got the second line clubs, associating pleasure clubs, dancing with their colors for the Most High. And behind them, you got the regular old citizens screaming, strapped up, ready for whatever is told to be done. Envision that, because that's been my dream for quite some time. I pray that y'all can see that. I pray that y'all can, it resonates with you. That's how we're going to get out this thing. Ain't no other way. All praise to Shabbat.